Hey everyone, I just wanted to mention that in this video I am trying out some new camera settings, so please let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. On with the video. So, the Canyon is now my new beginner balisong recommendation. And I want to talk about that because if you have been around for long enough, you will have seen my initial thoughts on the Canyon and even my updated thoughts. And you know, if you've seen that, then I feel like this kind of comes out of nowhere. Because I've been meaning to make a video for quite some time talking about this, that the Canyon has really changed. My thoughts on it have really changed. I feel that I like it a lot more than I used to. I find that it has this very nice kind of flow that is super unique to it, but also goes with my flipping style quite well. And there's some tricks on here that I can do better than I can on any other balisong. For instance, choker fans on a Canyon are great. It just does them so well. I think that's probably to do with the fact that there's so little weight in the handle and all the weight is at the end. But I don't know. I didn't get a 5 in AP Physics, so I'm not the kind of guy to ask those questions. But I really like how it flips. Now it's a little bit heavier than most other balisongs that I'm used to, and in general the Canyon is a little heavier than what the general balisong audience is looking for these days. But it is not heavy, it doesn't feel heavy to flip, and the only real way that you would even notice is that it just has a kind of more flowy kind of flipping style, because generally if a balisong has end weight and it's heavier, the kind of flipping you're going to want to do is going to be momentum based. So you're going to want to do tricks that keep the momentum of the balisong going in the same direction, like that, versus doing lots of ricochets, things like that. Those are a lot harder because there's just a lot more force that you have to work against. So why is it now my beginner recommendation over the Vulp? Like I said, I love how this thing flips. And in general, I think that it actually flips better than a Vulp. Now I know that I initially said it had a really weird kind of balance, or it flipped weird. But as my preferences have switched from being more handle biased to more neutral, I have found that the Canyon flips less and less weird. Now part of that I think is just me getting used to it. The Canyon, I guess, is a balisong that you just got to flip for a while until you kind of adapt to it. And then once you adapt to it, you can kind of use it to its full potential. And I just think that it flips better than a Vulp. Because the Vulp, as many people have said, including myself, it's just not a balisong that grows with you. It's a balisong that is great when you first start out, and then as soon as you get into anything that is chaplain related, anything kind of advanced, it just doesn't do as well. But the Canyon, I feel like, actually does better the more advanced you get, because it has that particular kind of flow that allows you to do these more advanced tricks really effortlessly, versus, you know, it can do beginner tricks, sure, but it's gonna feel weird if you're just doing beginner tricks and you don't have a kind of flow built up. But if you build up a flow with it, it feels really great to flip. Left hand flips. So that's mostly why I think that the Canyon is actually a better balisong for beginners than the Vulp. Another thing is the price. The Canyon, if you get a trainer, is about $15 less. Now, the live blade, or the false live blade I should say, is a little bit more expensive. Off the top of my head, I don't remember how much. I think it might be it's a similar price range to the Vulp, but I still think that it ultimately flips better. And even if the Canyon cost more than the Vulp, I still think it would be a better balisong for beginners. It's also made of steel, which is a lot more durable than aluminum, and having a durable balisong is something that not a lot of people talk about in terms of for beginners, but it's actually pretty important, I feel, that beginners have something durable, because beginners are going to be dropping their balisongs more than anyone else. I have a friend who recently got into the hobby, and he saw me do a Y2K, so then he sat there trying to figure it out on my balisong, and yeah, he dropped it a lot. Just like all beginners are going to drop their balisongs a lot. So having something that is fully stainless steel is actually going to be really great, because you can drop it wherever, how many times you want, and you know it's not going to damage the balisong. Now, it will damage everything else around it, so be careful where you're flipping. But the balisong itself will not get damaged. Now, the only last thing that I wanted to mention is if you're looking at getting the trainer or the false live blade, if you're a beginner, get whichever one you can afford and whichever one you think looks better. That's what I'll say. But if you're not a beginner and you're looking to pick one up and you don't know which one to get, here's what I would say. If you're someone who enjoys a more handle biased experience, get the trainer. If you like a more neutral balisong, get the false live blade, because that's the balance point of those two. So that is kind of how I would decide between which one to get. I personally have the false live blade, and I really like it. I like the weight of it. I like the distribution. I think it flips really well, as I've said. But it was pretty much all that I wanted to talk about today, was just that my kind of thoughts and opinions on the whole beginner balisongs have changed. And the Canyon is now my recommendation. So I hope you've all enjoyed. Video suggestions, leave them in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the camera settings. I think that they should look a little nicer, a little crisper, but let me know. Yeah, hope you've all had a wonderful day, and until next time, keep flipping.